Hey, welcome back. I'm Cassie and you're watching TIGR Reviews on the Indie Game Report. Today I'm sharing a really neat adventuring game with you that is meant for only one player called Quest: Awakening of Melior from Silent Se7en Games. In Quest, you play as a hero adventuring through tiers of encounters looking for a quest to complete. Once you find a quest and you complete it, you win the game. Some of these encounters, however, are going to deal you damage, and eventually, if your health reaches 0, you'll die and lose the game. So the point of the game is to find a quest and to also not die. Let's go ahead and take a look at Quest, and then I will tell you what I think of it. Quest is a game in which you play as a hero, adventuring through the recently renewed magical world Melior, looking for a quest to complete. On your turn, you'll draw an event card, which could be good or bad for you, depending on the event. After resolving the event, you choose an encounter with which to engage. Each stage, you'll start with only one encounter to choose from for the first round, but the subsequent rounds you'll be able to choose between 3 encounters. As you progress through the rows of encounters, you'll discard cards in such a way that your next round will only have 3 encounters to choose from. Then you engage the encounter you chose. Whichever stats are shown on the encounter are the stats which you need to defeat. With a few exceptions, you will only need to defeat one of the stats shown on the encounter. Before you total your stats against the encounter's stats, you roll 5 dice. Some of these dice rolls may change yours or the encounter's stats by being locked into special combos shown on the cards. Dice matching encounter combos must be locked into the combo, while dice matching beneficial combos for you are only locked if you choose to do so. Next, you will re-roll any dice not locked by a combo. Again, you lock dice into combinations, then you can re-roll available dice if you want to. Once you're done rolling, you'll compare the stats. You'll either defeat the encounter, tie it, or it will defeat you. If you defeat the encounter, you collect it as unspent XP or experience points. If it defeats you and you don't tie, you figure out which stat of the encounter caused you the most damage or had the greatest difference from your stats. Then you take that much damage by lowering your health points or HP the same amount. It then gets discarded to the top of the encounter deck. If you tie in combat, you collect the encounter for XP, but you also take damage as if you were defeated. Once you resolve the encounter, you begin a new round. You get a chance to level up your hero at the end of each round as well by flipping 3 unspent XP cards per level. If there are no more encounters to choose from for the stage, you increase the stage level by 1, shuffle the encounter deck, and set up the new stage in the same pyramid shape. Eventually, you will come across a card which contains a quest, either on a hero or an event card. The quest will require you to accomplish something specific. Once you do, you win the game. If an encounter defeats you to the point where your HP is 0, you die and lose the game. That's Quest: Awakening of Melior. Quest is definitely heavily influenced by luck, and that is because the game is kind of focused on the dice rolling. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just kind of the essence of dice. They're either going to be good for you or bad. Quest does a good job though of trying to keep it 50-50 on whether these dice are going to be beneficial for you or not. All of the encounter cards have their combinations locking lower rolls like 1s, 2s, and 3s, and then anything that's beneficial for you locks 4, 5s, and 6s, so it really does kind of split your dice rolling in half, whether it's going to be beneficial for you or not. This can get kind of frustrating only because encounters, if you roll something that's bad, you have to lock it in the encounter. If you roll something that you don't need for yourself, or it doesn't affect any combination, it's not that big of a deal. You re-roll it, and then later you can press your luck more if you want to keep rolling. But with rolls that are low and you have to lock them into encounters, it's just kind of frustrating sometimes if you just keep rolling bad rolls and then keep taking all of this damage. This is why the game scales with you regarding the damage you take and regarding the stage level that you're in. And what I mean by this is, let's say you're in stage 3 and you take an encounter card and engage in combat, and then it ends up defeating you and deals you 5 damage. The max amount of damage that you have to take is 3 because that is the stage level, which is super awesome because especially when you're first starting the game off, you don't have anything really beneficial for you other than your hero card and its combination. So you engage an encounter and it deals like 10 damage to you. I don't know if that's actually ever happened to me, but let's say, for example, it was something really crazy and you're definitely gonna die. while you're on the first stage, so you actually only take a maximum of 1 damage, which is really nice because otherwise you wouldn't want to keep playing the game. There's another thing though that is kind of hard about the game because it's luck-based, and that is as you engage encounters, even if they do defeat you and you only take a little bit of damage, when you don't defeat them, you don't get them as XP, unspent XP. And if you lose to 2 encounters in a stage, you've kind of already fallen behind on being able to level up your character with the stage, because you need 3 you need 3 unspent XP to turn in to level your character up, and the stage is gonna just level up regardless of whether you have the right amount of XP or not. So you could start to fall behind of the stage if you're not defeating encounters, and then that can get kind of frustrating because the encounters that you engage with, most of the time their stats are related to the stage level, and the same with yours. They kind of are related to your character level. So if the game is leveling way faster than you can, it can just kind of get a little frustrating. This is why there are beneficial cards in the game to help you with your dice rolling or your health or whatever it is. The first one that is involved in the game is an event card type called a boon card. And boon cards are really great. They're beneficial cards that are persistent. They stay with you until you either use them up or discard them to replace them, or just discard them for I don't know what reason. They're beneficial. Why would you get rid of them? But either way, you have these boon cards that are really beneficial to you, and they can help you regain health. They can help you modify dice rolls. They can help you sometimes with like adding dice to things. And it's just really helpful for you when you come across a boon card, because you really need those if you're trying to like just get through some of these stages. And some of these encounters too are super duper difficult to defeat, and you're just not gonna defeat them right away if you engage them in an early stage. So having boon cards is super duper helpful. In addition to boon cards, there are other cards that are event cards that have this little description on the bottom, or I guess not description, but it's an ability on the bottom that you get when you level up. But you only get it if you level up using unspent XP that has an inspiration icon on it. If you're not sure, it's usually in like the top corner of the encounter, and it kind of looks like a little sunburst, and it's also on the bottom of some event cards, not all of them, and that's important. If you level up your character and you turn in some unspent XP that has inspiration icons on it, you can go into the discard pile of the event cards, pick a card that also has an inspiration ability listed on the bottom, and take it as a special ability for yourself. Some of these are one-time use, but some of them are persistent throughout the game. But if you go to level up and you have cards that have inspiration icons on them, and there are no event cards that have inspiration icons on them in the discard pile, you just end up wasting your inspiration. And it's kind of like a currency in the game. You don't want to waste it because those cards are super important and they're super helpful for you, because like I said, sometimes you're going to engage an encounter that is just going to be really difficult to defeat. And those tend to be the encounters that you need to defeat for quests. So making sure that you save your inspiration for when you can actually spend it appropriately is important, and it can make you choose maybe not to level up. So sometimes you can level up ahead of the stages, and this is a way to keep you from getting too ahead of yourself. You don't want to spend very valuable inspiration and not be able to use it on collecting any cool event cards. Another thing you can do to help yourself with quests is kind of plan the encounters you're going to engage with. With the first level, I know you can't choose the encounter you engage with, but the sequential ones you have between usually 3 to choose from, and then you can also kind of see the path you're going to take and what your future options will be. So you can choose to go towards encounters that you think you're better off to engage with. Like for example, a lot of the encounters that are in the Meltwood Forest use survival as their #1 stat. If you don't have good survival, or you're going to need to roll really well to improve your survival stat, maybe don't go to the Meltwood Forest. I enjoyed Quest, and I enjoyed it because I like games that are kind of luck-based, press your luck, because you just don't feel like you're doing anything wrong. It just happens to you, and it's way easier to play a game and feel like you didn't do anything wrong. But this game also has enough hand management and options that you can choose to take where you don't feel like the game is entirely luck-based. You do feel like you have some chance to make decisions and influence the way that the game is going a little bit. So while yes, the game is definitely heavily influenced by luck because that's just the way that dice rolling games are, I enjoyed that. And I also enjoyed, like I said, the light hand, it's like, I would say it's light hand management of how you're going to use your boon cards, when you're going to use them, when you're going to use any of the inspiration abilities you have, and what inspiration abilities you're going to choose to take. It's I don't know, for me, it was a good balance of luck and hand management. I enjoyed the artwork very much. I kind of like watercolor field artwork, and the encounters were kind of scary, and then heroes weren't scary, so the artwork kind of matched the way that the game, I think, wants you to feel, especially the back of the cards when you're looking at the stage. Some of those are like really scary. If I were a real hero, I don't know if I would want to engage with encounters in those. Like the Melwood Forest is kind of scary looking if you look at the back of the card. So I thought the art was great and I really enjoyed it. The only thing that I kind of had a problem with Quest was the rules. I had to read through the rules a couple of times because the rules are kind of broken up oddly to me. They took information that I thought would have better fit one paragraph that was maybe numbered, and they split it into a couple of different like bubbles of different colors, and then you're not sure if this bubble is related to that bubble, but it is. It's just the way that it fits in the rules. It was just kind of weird, and sometimes I would bypass things that looked like they were just tips or examples, but they weren't. They contained vital information to the game. So I really only had a difficult time with the rules, but the game itself, I don't have any complaints. Unless like you're just a person that doesn't like luck-based games. If you're not all about that rolling, you're probably not going to enjoy Quest because it is definitely about the dice rolling. But like I said, that doesn't bother me. So I enjoyed the game. I just had a trouble time with the rules. Quest is definitely a welcomed game to my home collection, and if you would like to add a copy to your own home collection, you can find out how to do that down below. If you enjoyed this review and you would like to leave a comment, feel free to do that as well, or simply subscribe, that's okay too. Thanks for sticking with me today and for watching this TIGR review of Quest, Awakening of Melior from Silent Se7en Games.